Guys, that so-called man, but it's a woman, riding her bike, just waved to this dude that keeps, he's a gang stalker too, he just keeps sitting there watching. I was gonna go ride up to her, but she shaved all of her Asian hair off, and she goes by Ta now, and she's I guess she goes by he now instead of she, and she just waved at him, and I noticed that that's the woman that I was a gang stalker, who I didn't know they were gang stalkers back then, but a little bit before I got pregnant with my son, those are the individuals. And I went to her house one time. I fell asleep, but I felt like she did some sort of ritual or something over me. I don't know what it was, but now and then I'll see her pop up, and just now, that's why I said ding dong, because I said, oh, Ta waving to her. That's how I know that they're all connected with each other. So she was riding her bike. It's hard for me to call her he. I got to work on that, but she don't have any male parts or anything. She's riding her bike down there. She dresses like a man though, and she only hangs out with certain black dudes, and I found out a lot of those black men are at Dawson Park, where they have like the blood park where all the gangsters, people go sell their drugs and shoot up people. She only hangs out with those types, so I don't know if she's connected to Fong Phuc Tong Win, which was my ex-husband. And they've been gang stalking, watching, could possibly be connected to Tremaine Harrison. He puts his name backwards on YouTube though, but it was a situation ever since that dude came into my life. I noticed some stuff that's been happening too, but it started in 2016. I'll go more in depth in that story later, but I noticed when those thoughts came in my mind, I was like, oh, so she riding by and waving to that dude that's just alone, that keeps going to get beers. He old, but he's wearing a blue cap, and he sit there and talk to himself, and I know that's for a reason. But I'm just not going into all that right now. And just signs of gang stalkers. But, you know, they need help. They need help. All of them do, but I guess that's all they know. And like the lady who helped my son and I have a hotel to stay in until we move into our apartment this weekend, she knows about some of the stuff going on out here too. Excuse me. And like she said, if you leave that lifestyle completely behind, including no longer, I'm adding this part though. She said once you leave that lifestyle behind and you change for the better, or you try to be changing for the better, it's like putting a target on your back. That's what she told me. And that's why they love to use those target bags, to let you know that you're a target. And I'm starting to figure something out about them also using those Walmart bags. That's their main two favorite bags. At one point they was trying to use corporations, like store corporations. But I guess those stores, I realized those stores are the stores that boosters that I dealt with in the past that they stole from. So, and I helped them, of course, because I was the driver. That was years ago though, like over a decade ago, or about a decade. I think it was over a decade ago, or about a decade ago. That's the last time I ever assisted with theft. Because I got to put myself out there too now, y'all. You already know I ain't perfect. I was about to say, the reason I said perfect is because I was about to say, you already see I be cursing. And then when I said perfect, at the same time, that's why I said perfect. My son's messing with the freaking... But anyways, y'all. So I just wanted to show that, because everybody be tied to somebody. It's like that Get Out story, or Us, not Get Out, but Us, where they're tethered to each other. That's what it's like. They holding hands all across the nation. Careful out there. I have made a video about this actually before I left Hillsborough, Washington County. It was so bad that I had to leave Washington County to find a place, which was worse here, but in Multnomah County, which is in Portland, Oregon. But Washington County, it has more so-called wealthy people down there, and the place is more clean, and they're really covert, and it's like they're numb and they're cold. And I basically figured out the reason why some of these people that have money, that are like considered rich or wealthy, that live in those regular neighborhoods, they're not like living in a $1 million home, or some of them do, because some of the houses they built were like $500,000 or like $600,000. Like the next neighborhood over from the neighborhood I grew up in at my parents' house, which was only a third, like I think 300,000. So that that neighborhood, and plus the neighborhood we stayed in, it had a bunch of nosy, gang stalking, rich and wealthy people that was in the neighborhood that were witches and warlocks and people like that. And I figured that out after I had my awakening and realized why so many people were so focused on copying whatever we do. And half the stuff was my idea that we did at my mom's house. So and nobody else in the whole neighborhood did it. They have money. They've been there for years. Not one person did it until right after we painted our fence, for example. That's when a house right across the street decided to paint their fence. I'm like, dang. So y'all mean to tell me it took 10 years for you to decide to paint your fence after the first person to paint their fence paints their fence? They were doing stuff like that. And I'm like, you guys are so petty. You got so much money, but you don't got nothing else better to do than to be like a non-original being. You have to copy. And then you hate us because you wish you were us, pretty much. That's how I feel about it. Because why you gotta copy our style? Why you can't be original and make your own stuff up? You do it just to be annoying. You show how much you watching us. Haters really, like they say, haters love us, but it's like it's an obsession. They're not. I don't think it's love. They're obsessed with us. That's why they can't get enough of us. Like the video I posted earlier where it was nobody parked by me, but they had to try to act like they were going to box me in or something, parking right behind me and right on the side of me. When there were spots, they could have parked at least one spot over. That's how I know it was intentional. And then they had the ugly behind demonic energy security officer standing right there on his phone and stuff when I was in the store. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it was annoying. He couldn't even talk because he was doing something he had no business doing. They always have that nonchalant, lazy, and I heard that horn out there. I don't think y'all can hear it though. But they have that nonchalant, lazy, I almost said pedophile, but that energy, I can't explain it. It's like a lag type of energy. It's like, ew, get away from me type of energy. I can't really explain it right now. So anyways, 7:17, when I looked at the timer, and I glanced over, oh, okay, homeboy, see, he gone. He probably went to go get another beer. He was talking to himself because he could hear what I'm saying. I forgot about that until I remember something that happened. I'll talk about that some other time, about how I know them hearing what I say. Because I think, I'm just going to say it like this. It's like on a network where the people that they're gang stalking, they have the technology, whether it be through your phone, through your radio, through the red box machine at the freaking store. They can hear you, and I feel like it's something demonic with it, like not hypnosis. I can't think of it right now, but you guys can make your own connection. But it's something like that. I'll go into detail how I came to that conclusion, though, because it's something that I heard when, about 3 years ago when two other gang stalkers was communicating with each other in the parking lot, and I happened to hear what they were planning, and I think they didn't know that it kicked in where I was hearing what they were saying. And that's how that lady walking up behind me that was working with the dude that called himself Darnell Ross, who first told me his name was Romello, but he had an ID, but I feel like that ID was fake. With the name Darnell Ross on it, but it had his picture on it, but that doesn't mean jack. But anyways, he's the one. He was trying to get a woman to come up behind me and do something. I don't know if they was trying to stab or not apprehend me. I don't know what they were trying to do, but then he like, God, dog. I had turned around and I looked at her casually, and then I turned back straight and kept walking. And I was along his side. So he was trying to act like he was my friend. So he, like, not my friend, but like he was there to assist me. He told me a lot of information that helped me put some other stuff together, because I already knew too much at the time. But he thought they were gonna take me out before I could get as far as I could. And let me tell y'all this man fit the description of back then. I don't know, back in 2021, I can't remember if it was Miss Spiritual Advisor LLC or one of those other ladies that was tarot reading. They said this man he escaped from prison or something, and he'd been on the run. I think he either been on the run for 10 or 20 years, or he was in jail. He was sentenced to 10 or 20 years or something, life in prison, and he escaped. And there's some things that man said that gave me some clues, and he fit the description perfectly of somebody who may have escaped jail, but he knew information about me. And I know that the government and I know they're listening heavy into what I'm saying right now, because I'm putting some stuff together off the top of my head because of what they're doing. It's all because of the stuff that they were doing before I turned this camera on that start helping me connect the dots, such as knowing that the Portland police is in on gang stalking, because they're the only ones who don't pull me over, but they be everywhere, and I see them park a block down from Dawson Park while somebody else is at the park acting like they all cool with the dudes. And if y'all smart, pay attention on dudes at the Dawson Park. I'm trying to put y'all up on game so you can know. They be having an officer, police like 1 or 2 blocks away, parked directly on the same street aligned with Dawson Park. And I promise you they got somebody listening, and I mean he listening in on somebody who might be wired. But y'all don't care because you don't think that it's informants out there working. But I'm pretty sure they're not smart, and they probably won't watch this. But any of the gang stalkers, if they wise, they'll ease up, but they won't either, because they probably think that they're immune and ain't nothing gonna happen to them. But they're gonna find out in the future. But so I just wanted to share all that with y'all so you can know, like, they have machinery, technology out there. They can hear what you're saying, but you might not hear what they're saying. I thank God let me happen to pop in on that and hear what was going on. And when I started telling so-called Darnell Ross about it, that's when he revealed the information. He told me it's called the red box, and I thought he was playing. But later on, like a year later, it came up that some information about telecommunications that was right about what was going on. So I gotta close this up. Okay, but so anyways, y'all, trying to keep my son from getting into my documents that I need. Stop, Papa. And now he throw his arms back. Okay. So I hope that this information kind of helps somebody out. But yeah, so that guy, I think he did escape prison or something, because there was some activity that took place. And that's when the gang stalking really, really picked up, after he told me all that information that helped me put together some more things about what's going on deeper, how the government system is organized criminals. Of course, they have these people that don't know nothing about it, that works for their entity, their corporations. That's how they keep the facade up, because they get some people who sleep. And even if they get those people that's kind of like my case manager at DHS that refuse to wake up and see the reality, I think they even program him. They probably invite some of these people to a meeting, do some sort of hypnotic trance on y'all with some of the teachers with the spell work that they're teaching on the board. I didn't seen it happen before, because I seen it as a little kid. I believe between 6 and 8 years old, when I used to see the words on the boards in a spiritual way. It didn't look normal to me. It didn't look like how you look at a piece of paper and you write it. It's like they stood out almost paranormally. And I started seeing words like be and spell, and like how they have a spelling bee, and like it was some. I'm not gonna go into that because then it'll get more complicated. But I remember, I had suddenly remembered how I used to see words, and that's how I know spell work can even be done just by somebody doing some sort of presentation. I think they put them in some sort of hypnotic trance. And I hear to shut up. Nope, I ain't shutting up. So they put them in a hypnotic trance, and that's probably why this is a hypothetical thing, but it's to kind of get your brains to I'm trying to like, in a way, prime people's brains to get them to start thinking in a way, like not doing hypnosis to manipulate you against your will, but to help you to see what's really going on for those who will see. And trust me, I ain't stressing myself out to try to help people see who don't want to see. If you don't want to see, baby, that's on you, honey. I ain't worried about that. So because that's on you. That's your life that you gotta live. To see if I care, if you want to be trying to act like you being defiant, or like, oh, this B don't know what she talking about, that I'll agree with the adversary quickly, and I'll be like, hey boo, nice to meet you, bye. Like, yeah, you got the right to agree or disagree, whatever you please. So yeah, they're doing like hypnosis on people, and that's why what I was about to say is I believe that's why Alex Schmidt did what he did in front of me when I was starting to talk about something that was like that would have woke him up. All of a sudden he zoned out. But you know how, like I said, you know how when people zone out and they be looking down, or they just be looking straight like they're in a daze. His eyes started popping wide like he was in a state of shock. Okay, good, she went that way. But his eyes was wide like he was in a state of shock. All of a sudden his mouth was open. Like, that did not look normal. I was like, is he there? And then he came to all of a sudden. Like, it's like he almost went unconscious for a moment with his eyes popped wide like he was controlled, and then he started to come back in and pretend like he was answering my question. He did it in a way that it looked like it would have fit in, but it was basically him finishing off his statement that he was carrying on from right before he zoned out and heard what I was saying at that point. It's like he was just finishing a thought that was paused. I can't really explain it very well, I don't think, but you might can get it from what I just said. Like, it's like his thought process paused. Someone or something else took over for a moment to block him from hearing, and then he came back. He became conscious again. That's the way he acted. I wish I was like video recording instead of just audio recording. But yeah, I'm saying all this because I don't give a damn about somebody trying to come and kill me. I already know I'm doing protection rituals and my son gonna be all right. Whatever, I know everything is in God's hands. Whatever He decide to let happen, because that's who I was gonna say basically my master. But of course I'm not perfect. I'm not saying like I'm a holy, righteous person. But I do try my best to do right by people and not do some of these things that I'm exposing that these people are involved in doing, like the police and stuff like that. Just like it was something that they did today, copying off of me when I was trying to warn someone behind me that the police was up ahead by being on my brakes 2 times and then putting the hazards on. And then I put one blinker on to point towards the side that majority of them was on. And then I waved my hand out the window to the side to get their attention and let them know I was trying to do that on purpose to get their attention for some reason. And then when we got up to the area, I noticed they backed off of me because they was trying to speed to make me go faster. But they mocked me today. A totally different car repeated that, but except for they didn't do all that other stuff I did. All they did was have they left their right blinker on going down this street in front of me in a blue car. And then they waved their hand out like I did earlier today. I've seen nobody do that. I just did that this morning around 6 or 7 in the morning. And it was still dark out. And for them to do that, think about that for a moment. When I say that, I'm thinking about the people that are high priestess, empresses like Miss Spiritual Advisor LLC, Miss Amazing Grace / Intuitive Goddess 333. All those women that are high priest, empress women. Like, and I'm saying this stuff so if you come across this channel and you be in a secret video, like a fake account or a separate account from your actual account, and you happen to hear this stuff, that you could put some stuff in, like, because you guys have a bigger following, and I don't think your channel is being as badly as shadow banned as mine. So I'm saying stuff so that if any of you hear it, and even energetically and spiritually, code will come into you and you will start saying these things in your channel to get some people to wake up, because you have some people that follow you to the point where when you say things, I feel like they'll heed it. So yeah, thank you guys and have a good day. I'm gonna stop here.